What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? All right, I know you guys are probably saying like, "Where the fuck have you been?" I'm around. I'm still playing Summoner's War. I've been really, really busy. But before we go on, and I'll tell you what I've been up to these last 2 months because it's been 2 months since I made a video. Wow. I looked at my channel today. I'm like, holy shit, it's been 2 months. So anyway, happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy Independence Day for here, and I believe Canada is celebrating Independence Day. And it was Canada Day, and Happy Canada Day the other day, and happy whatever holiday you guys are spending around the world today. And I've been off for the last couple of days. I got some much needed sleep, extremely needed sleep, and I'm still trying to figure out whether I'm gonna go to work today or not. But I've been promising people I'm gonna make a video, so I'm making a video. And what the hell have I been up to the last 2 months? I've been working. I just you get hit over the head with bills. You gotta work. You gotta bite the bullet and go to work. You can't just sit around. I couldn't just sit around and play Summoner's War and not pay my bills. I don't exactly, and I'm not gonna sit here and beg on YouTube. I'm not begging right now. I'm just explaining to everybody what I'm going through in my most recent endeavors. I between the dogs, I gotta feed the dogs and go to take. I had to take Sophie to the vet and all this stuff, and I gotta take Rocky to the vet too. But these are normal things. Nothing happened with the dogs, but I've been really, 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 really busy. Like, it's not just the dogs; it's regular bills. I gotta keep up with them. And now I'm going back to school. I think I said this already. I'm going back. I dropped out about, I think it's 7 or 8 years ago, and I was going for my business administration degree at the time, my associates, and I dropped out with 4 classes remaining to get my associates. Now, am I gonna stop at my associates? No. Now, I re-signed for school. By the fall, I should be graduating and getting my associates, but I'm going to go for my bachelor's, and I'm going to change my major to information systems, which I'm going to lose a few credits doing that, which might prolong my bachelor's graduation, but it is what it is. I want to get into something where I could get a job anywhere in the world. Especially lately, like I've wanted to, but now it's like New York City. New York City has changed so much, especially the neighborhood I live. I live in Astoria or Long Island City, whatever you want to call it. I'm in the number 3 most gentrified area in New York City, and it's just crazy. Now we got the hipsters moving in like there's no fucking tomorrow, and you can't stop them. Like there's a new restaurant opening up down the block from my every other week between the coffee shops and the restaurants, and it's insane. We got a restaurant called Sausage and Mussels. Where the fuck does this make any sense? Please, somebody, please tell me. Sausage and fucking mussels. Seriously, how do you name a restaurant Sausage and fucking Mussels? Like, well, it's not sausage and fucking, it's sausage and mussels. I'm adding the fucking, but and then another one called Two Lizards. Then some bar of flat tops and the Diddy. What? What? Like, and they're packed every night. Like, whoa. Well, I don't know about sausage and mussels, to be honest with you. I don't know where people are getting that combination of foods of sausage and mussels. I've never even thought about it. I don't know. Anyways, but things have gotten really expensive around me. Like a slice of pizza. Well, the closest pizzeria to my house, I think a slice of pizza is like 3.25, and then you go further, a little further up, it's like 4.50. Where it's getting cheaper in Manhattan and more expensive in Astoria, Queens, of all the fucking places, and it's just. Some people would tell me, oh, why don't you just move out, go a little further out? Well, you know what? Going a little further out will probably cost me more to do it because I have a good rent. I pay a really good rent. I have a really good deal with my rent, and I have a decent relationship with my landlord. And the thing is, I got the dogs. Not a lot of people want dogs, so you got to think about you got to think about all these things. Yeah, it's getting really expensive all around me, but I'm still paying good prices for certain things. And I live alone. I can't really live with somebody, unless it's like I don't really like the whole roommate situation. I don't. You gotta sit there and you gotta depend on somebody else to split the bills and do this. I'd rather just pay my own bills and that's it. You know, it's like I'm not gonna. I've done it before. I had a roommate. he was late with everything, and like it's like I gotta pay for everything, and then I gotta chase him for the money. You know, when I had my own business, and I'm still paying for things that are left over from the business. I have to take care of a few issues with that. When I had my own business, I had to do that all day. I'm not gonna do that now that I like. That's one of the reasons why I even got rid of my business, was because I felt, instead of actually doing business, I felt like a bill collector. I'm not in the mood to do that. And whatever. It's just, that's how life is. I'm gonna bite the bullet and I gotta go to work. I'm not the type of person that's gonna sit here and ask for donations all fucking day. I said it from the beginning when I first opened up my channel. Unlike some other YouTubers, where I'm not gonna say their names, but they'd sit there, they ask for insane donations, saying that they need it for this, whatever reason, and no, like, you don't do that. I don't do that. I started my channel to help people out. I figured at the time there wasn't that much great content, and not to mislead people in doing certain things. And even that YouTuber, he recently made a video where I wanted to make a video and I didn't, and I'm like, whatever. And I'm just gonna mention it right now. He made a video saying that if another YouTuber tells you to 6-star your farmer first, tell them to kill themselves. Dude, shut the fuck up. Alright, seriously. One of the reasons why I tell you to 6-star your farmer first, everybody sits there and tells you, oh, you're going to waste all of your resources and this and that. Look, let me tell you something. When you 6-star a monster, especially an attacker, you actually gain some resources in the long run. All right, it's a little bit of a slower process, but you do gain a little bit in the long run. First of all, when you kill something, and it does it in such an extreme way, you get crystal drops. Okay, and it happens in dungeons, it happens in while you're farming, it happens in a lot of places. Then you should, when you're 6-star a monster, you should be increasing your arena rank, which gets you more crystals every week as well. There's a good argument to everything, and then you can sit there and 6-star other things at a quicker rate, and you can farm other things like monsters that you need, such as the dungeons and stuff like that. That's why I suggested Rauk over a year ago. And people are like, oh, Rauk is useless later on, late game. Look, there's some people that are using Rauk in Necro. Okay? I don't think, and there are some people like YDCB, he uses him in Arena, in Guild Wars, and Arena sometimes, The things that I've seen Rauk do to me in Arena on defense, when the game first came out, it's like, wow, I can't believe it. Like I've seen a Rauk go completely nuts and kill my entire team in one turn. So, anyway, I'm not going to sit here and sit on this subject the entire time. But do me a favor, fucking just shut the fuck up, make your content, dude. Do what you got to do. Don't talk about other people. I'm not in the mood for you. This isn't a drama channel, Just sit there, go beg the entire community for money like you've been doing for a long time. Making videos. You know what? I supported him for an entire day. After I supported him, he made a video asking for an exorbitant, like a crazy amount of money. Like, dude, fuck you. I'm never gonna do anything with you again. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and fucking deal with the bullshit. So, anyway, that's besides the point. I just wanted to get that off my chest. What else have I been doing? It's very stressful working especially as a fucking cab driver in New York City, because I'm dealing with a lot of bullshit every day between people, bicycles especially, cops hoping I don't get pulled over for whatever reason, and like it's a lot of things, and it's long hours. I can give you an example. One of my most recent ones. This was back in May, but it's not that recent. Which really, you know what? I'm thinking about changing my format. So like while I'm doing Summer News Work content, I'll be telling you guys some cab stories, and whatever the case is, you guys want to watch it, you don't want to watch it, it is what it is. But, I had this one dude now. I started working that day at 2:30 in the afternoon. It's 3 in the morning now. I dropped off some girl in Crown Heights, and I'm like, I'm done after this, I'm gonna log out of my GPS. All the New York City yellow cabs have a GPS where they keep track of us, where we pick somebody up and where we drop them off and stuff like that. So somebody always knows where we are, which I consider it as a safe thing in some ways, like just in case anything ever happens, they know exactly where I'm at. But anyway, so I logged out of it. Now, my GPS is still working, they know where I am, but like I'm pretty much off duty. That's what it means. That means I'm not picking anybody up, I'm going home. So I rolled down the window. I stopped at a red light. Obviously, you gotta stop at red lights. And some dude comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, listen, man, can you just give me a ride home real quick?" I'm like, "Listen, man, I'm off duty. I'm going home. I'm tired. It's been really like a really long day." He's like, "Come on, I don't live too far away." I'm like, "What's your address?" I put it in Waze. I'm like, "All right, come on, get in." So I log back into the GPS and I turn the meter on. He's like, "Oh, this is a metered fare." I'm like, "Yeah, what do you think this is?" So he doesn't say nothing. So as I'm driving him home, he he goes to me. He saw that the meter went up 50 cents on the way there. He's like, "Oh, why'd the meter go up?" I'm like, "It's time and the distance." He's like, "No, there's no meter like that in New York City." I'm like, "Dude, that's every single meter like that I know of." I'm like, "You must never take cabs for you to do this." He's like, "No, it's not like that. You're ripping me off." I'm like, "Listen to me and listen to me carefully." I go to him. All right. I wanted to go home. I don't have to deal with this. This is the way it is. You don't like it? Get the fuck out. He just shut up right then and there. So, like, this guy just raised my fucking blood pressure through the roof because I had a good day. It was a good day up until this guy. You know how sometimes one thing, and especially at the end, can just fuck up your whole day? And the reason why I picked him up was because he didn't really act like a dick. He was actually a pretty decent guy in the beginning. I was like, all right, whatever, It seemed like a hardworking dude. It looked like he just got out of work. So I take him in front of his house. He pays me. He's like, "Listen, man, thank you very much for bringing me home safely and taking the time to bring me home." And I'm like, "Did you really have to raise my blood pressure?" Like, I really wanted to say something. I'm like, "Have a good night, dude." Like, did he really have to raise my blood pressure before I took him home? It's like shit like that. And then there's other things that I've had to deal with. But I have some really good experiences that I've dealt with. But you gotta understand, when I'm working like days this long, it's really hard for me. It's been really hard for me. I got a lot of things on my mind, especially now that I'm gonna go back to school. And school stressed me out. I was supposed to start on June 6th, right? I enrolled for a microeconomics class. That's one of the 4 classes that I need to do. So I enrolled for microeconomics. Not enough people enrolled for the class, and they dropped me out of the class. Now I thought I got dropped out of the class because I didn't get any notification. Where really they were supposed to send me a notification. Even some other people told me that I was supposed to get a notification. So what happened was I didn't know that I got dropped out of the class. I'm seriously about to hop in the shower butt naked now. I'm like, wait a second, where's my class? I didn't know what room it's gonna be. So I come to my laptop, I log in, and it dropped me out of the class. Now I thought I got dropped out of the class because I paid for the class late. Now what happened was I wanted to make a payment arrangement so I could pay in payments for the class, and I went there with cash for the pay, and they wouldn't do cash. And I'm like, really? Like, since when is this cash no good? But apparently now in the CUNY system, which CUNY stands for City University of New York, they don't take cash. So, whatever. And yeah, I'm selling this because I got plenty of Shield Speed subbed, like, ruined. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, I got dropped out of the class. I thought it was because of that. So I'm going through the classes that are available to see, and I see there's a macroeconomics class, and I was supposed to take micro, but at the time I wasn't thinking. I'm literally butt naked right now, sitting on my over here where I'm sitting now. Like, what the fuck's going on? I want to graduate in the fall, and I don't want to deal with this bullshit. So I enrolled myself for macroeconomics. I go to the class. I realize it's the wrong class. Walk out of the class. Go see the people in advisement. Then I had to go to another department because microeconomics and macroeconomics are not part of the business. It's part of something else. I forgot what it's called. And I go there, and they were like, they didn't send you a notification. I'm like, no, I didn't even get a paper schedule. It's a new thing where they don't even send you a paper schedule with a bill. Like, usually, the normal way is you get a paper bill, a physical bill. Like, even paying, like, figuring out how much I owed them, I didn't even know. Like, I had to go through this whole process, and anyway, this whole new system is retarded, what they did. And a lot of people are complaining, even the employees inside the school. So I told them, like, all right, so I'm going to drop the class. She goes to me, yeah, drop the class. but I'm like, am I gonna get charged? She's like, probably. I'm like, what? I was literally enrolled to the class for an hour. She's like, yeah, go to Bursars and talk to Bursars. So I go to Bursars. I talk to the lady. She's like, yeah, you got charged $500. I'm like, really? $500 for what? I go to her. She's like, well, you enrolled to the class and now you dropped out, so you dropped out of the class. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't need the class. I already took macroeconomics. I passed it. She's like, all right, let me go talk to my supervisor. Her supervisor tells her I got to go through this whole process and I'm not going to find out for another month on whether or not I'm going to get that taken off. And I have to give them an explanation of what happened. Really? You know, like I'm already explaining to you what happened. Anyway, so I ended up talking to the business administration advisors and they did something for me and I ended up getting erased from my bill. But it's like one fucking day, like the first fucking day, and all this bullshit is happening. And you know, school has gotten like I'm not going to Yale, man. One semester is a lot of money now compared to what it was 7 or 8 years ago. I'm beginning to feel really old right now because I'm talking about 7 or 8 years ago, and now it's like literally double the price. Like, well, what's going on? This is a city university. It's not a fucking. It's not an actual university. It's not Yale or St. John's University or fucking Harvard or Columbia or NYU. Anyway, so yeah, we went through that, and then you know, I got other things. I'm dealing with people, and I have a wheelchair accessible cab. So sometimes, you know, not the people in the wheelchair, but the aides. They're just miserable motherfucking people. You would think the person in the wheelchair is miserable, but those people are pretty happy. Some of them, the ones that are helping them, are completely miserable. The aides, it's like so unbelievable. I'm sitting there saying to myself, you both your legs are working. Why are you the miserable one? You know, just make your life difficult. It's just over and over and over and over again, like the shit I deal with. But you know, I do have some great experiences. Most of my experiences are good. I'm just talking about the bad. And sometimes when you know what you deal with the bad, you remember the bad, and the good experiences you don't remember them as much. But I've had some really great experiences. I've met some very interesting people. You know, like I've met a couple of famous people. Like I'll tell you guys from now, and whatever. Anyway, I met Tiger Woods. I had Tiger Woods in my cab. I didn't take him very far. I can't tell you where I dropped him off, but I picked him up from the New York Athletics Club, and let me tell you something. I didn't even know it was Tiger Woods until he walked out of the cab. What happened was, it just so happened that, and the reason why he took a yellow cab was because it was the day the blizzard had started, but we weren't in the blizzard yet. The blizzard was the next day, but it started snowing, and there was really no cabs around, and Uber was probably charging. Let me tell you something. Uber probably would have said $300 to go a mile. Like shit like that. And you know, if you guys want to hear why I don't do Uber and why I actually don't like Uber where I am, I think Uber's a great thing in certain cities, but in certain areas, but it's not a great thing in places like New York City and other places. But anyway, so whatever the case is, he looked like he was in a pissed off mood too. That's the funny thing. But he was a decent guy. He wasn't bad. And so I didn't notice it was him until he walked out of the cab. Like he walked out of the cab and he was standing underneath a light post. And that's when I noticed it was him. And me, I was still there because I'm sitting there printing out not the receipt, but I'm printing out my daily trips to see how much I made so far, how far I've progressed in the night. And I'm looking at the dude and I'm like, holy shit, that's Tiger fucking Woods. And one reason why I kind of didn't recognize him either was because he was brolic. Like we're talking about, he was the size of a football player, all muscle and really big. Which I've spoken to a few people about that, and they told me, they were like, yeah, you know, he did get bigger. He's been working out and muscle-wise, and that's what affected his golf game. Because golf is about finesse and strength. It's not just about strength. And he's lost a little bit of his finesse, and now he has to lose weight and this and that. That's why he actually didn't go into the most recent tournament. I believe it was the U.S. Open, whatever. So, you know, it was cool. I got to meet him. And I also had Lucy Liu in my cab. Now, if anybody doesn't know Lucy Liu, it's from Charlie's Angels, and she's a fucking cunt. I hated her. She had a really bad attitude. Let me tell you something. Everybody that walks into my cab, I have a conversation with them. You know? I don't care who you are. You could be a 90-year-old woman or you could be a 50-year-old guy, or you could be the hottest chick in the world. I'm going to start a conversation. I won't go through my day. Obviously, I talk, I ramble. I don't think I've stopped talking since I started the video. I can't go through my day without having a conversation with the passengers. Otherwise, I'll be the most miserable person on the planet. So, and you know what? The day will just get longer and longer and longer. Sometimes, I go through 12 hours and it goes like this, because I'm sitting there talking to people. I'm going. It's going. It's going. It's going. We talk about everything. We talk about politics. We talk about religion. I try to keep out of it. I'm not really big on religion. I was raised Greek Orthodox and all that, but I've come to the point where I don't really believe in the church. I believe that there's a higher power. But I'm not really an atheist. I believe that there's a higher power, but I don't believe in the church. I find the church is very, very corrupt. Anyway, that's besides the point. We're never going to get into this conversation. I don't even want to talk about church. But, so, like, Lucy Liu was acting like a complete cunt. Like, I've never had anybody act like that, ever, with me. And, once again, I didn't realize it was her when she walked in. And she started talking, and slowly I'm recognizing the voice, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, holy shit, I know this chick from somewhere. And I had to, while she was in the cab, I Googled Lucy Liu. I'm like, oh my God, it's the same chick. And then her friend walked out of the cab. She walked out of the cab, and her friend was still in the cab. I was like, who was that? She was like, that was Lucy Liu. I'm like, really? And she was an actress too, but she wouldn't tell me who she is. So I guess, I don't know. Whatever the case was, it was. I still don't know who the second chick was. But let me tell you something. I never caught an attitude like that in my life. But then again, you know what? Lucy Liu always plays the bitch role, so I don't think she's acting. I think that's just who she is. But anyway, so and I had another great experience actually this last month. I'm at LaGuardia Airport, and you know what, Emil? I'm gonna apologize from now, but I'm gonna say it this way because this is what happened. All right. So there's this dude, right? There's a taxi line first. Let's talk about that. There's a huge taxi line. There's a huge lot where everybody's going. So there's 3 cabs ahead of me. So 2 people go, and then there's another cab ahead of me and me. And so 2 people, they go, they get their cab, they get their fares, they get their passengers, whatever. So there's a cab in front of me, and the dispatcher told him, go to that cab, the one in front of me. And he looks all confused and shit, and he walks up to me. And then, like, the other passenger, the guy behind him, I think, went towards that cab. And I'm like, I was like, whatever. I'm like, yo, come here, Because I should have gotten the guy that was behind him, but I ended up getting him. I'm like, yo, come here, whatever, I'll take you. It's not a big deal. So, the guy gets in the cab, and I strike up a conversation with him. Well, first I told him, I'm like, listen, I have to take the Midtown Tunnel to take you there. That's the fastest way. I always look for the fastest way. I'm not in the mood to sit there and deal with bullshit, If it's a little longer, if I see that it's a little longer, I'll tell them before that. I'll be like, listen, this is the shorter route, and legally I'm obligated to tell them that. And I'm obligated to tell them that, there's a toll on the way there, but this is the shortest way. So do you want me to take this way and whatever? He's like, yeah, whatever. So we started talking, and as I said, I strike up a conversation with everybody. Like, how was your flight, or is this your first time in New York, and whatever we talked about. All I remember is him going to me, he's like, yo, dude, I recognize your voice from somewhere. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I recognize your voice from somewhere. I'm like, a good 20 or 30 seconds later, because even I paused, I'm like, do you play video games? He goes to me, are you NickDaGreek? I'm like, yeah. Who are you? He's like, I watch your videos all the time. This and that. And he was like, you're great. He's like, you're one of the reasons why I continue playing the game. And, I learned a lot from watching your videos. He's like, why the fuck haven't you made a video in a while? I'm like, I'm busy. Look, I'm actually working. You see that I'm working. And he was like, yeah, but you gotta keep making videos. Like, we miss you. So, it was just such a great experience. Just to run into one of my subscribers. And it was amazing for me, like, I never thought I would end up going through something like that. I felt kind of special, Give me my moment here, guys, But I'm gonna be. I wouldn't be making if I was stuck with like 500 subscribers from a year ago. I wouldn't continue making videos. But it's a great feeling. I love you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I really wouldn't be making videos. Now, one thing that's bothering me with this game now lately is there's no real content that has come out. It's like, all right, we got the Panda, we got raids, we got world boss. Raids and world boss, you can't really control what's going on with raids. Yeah, you can't control, like, you can't sit there, and I understand why, because you're sitting there depending on two other people, and you have to create a team. You have to create multiple teams at some point to do R5. You have to create like multiple different things so that you can mix and match with other people. But once again, it's like you're staring at the screen, and that kind of throws me off. And there's no real new content. And then World Boss, which is understandable, it's 20 monsters at a time. You can't sit there and click because you'll be stuck there for days. So, and now real-time PvP came out. I still haven't made a video about that. First of all, I gotta play it, figure it out, because it's a completely different meta. It's not what you think it is. And you know what? You need multiple monsters to do the same thing, from what I noticed, because you're using monsters like you can't, like, let's say somebody chooses Bernard, the opponent can't choose Bernard. It's not like Guild Wars, where if the opponent has Bernard, you can choose Bernard. Like, Bernard is the perfect example right now for me to give. And some things have to be created now. You know, if you're one of the lucky ones and you got Tiana or Orion and like multiple attack bar boosters, now you have to. Now it's come to the point where you have to create multiple attack bar boosters. You have to choose who. I'm sorry for the train, guys, but that was like whatever. Anyway, you have to create multiple attack bar boosters. You have to choose who's going to be your fastest, and then you have to make a threshold for the rest of them and keep them within the threshold so you know what's going on. And like, I'm going to give an example. Like, I have a plus 170 something Bernard. My threshold for everybody else would be at least the minimum plus 140 or something, depending on their base speed and stuff like that. So now I already was considering building Kabila, but I need another attack bar booster that people tend to not have, so that you can be able to do multiple things. You know? Like, even though they have different roles and they do different things, it's still the same thing. And it's not just about attack bar boosters, and then you've got the tanks, and you've got galleons, and then you need what's the word I'm looking for? Immunity. You need, like, there's a lot of things to think about. And yeah, I start off a little slow. When it comes to new things, I start off a little slow, and then hopefully I get the hang of things. It's after I do it. And I really haven't been doing real-time PvP. I haven't been farming ruins in the last 2 months. I've only been doing nothing but collecting monsters and collecting crystals and like doing some content. I barely even beat TOA normal. I beat TOA normal 10 minutes before it was done, before the reset happened, and I didn't even touch TOA hard. I still have barely touched TOA normal this month. I'm gonna have to do that, and then go, because I just fused the Panda too, so I'm in need of Devilmon. Between Jameer and the Panda, I'm in need of Devilmon. I gotta get the Devilmon in TOA hard. And it's just the content in the game. It's been really slow. We need new content. It's killing me right now. I love this game. I never stopped playing this game. But we really need new content. And as I said, I've also been playing Battle Royale. I got a Clash Royale. Sorry, I gotta make a few videos about Clash Royale or whatever. I'll make videos with Clash Royale in the background, and we'll be bullshitting, or whatever the case is. And I still haven't made it to Legendary Arena, but I am Royal, whatever, Arena 7. That's where I am. Is Arena 7. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know how you liked the video. Give it a like, subscribe, and you know what? I'm going to change my format. Instead of making videos solely for like taxi stories, maybe I'll be doing Summoner's War content and give the taxi stories at the same time. So let me know what you think about that. Like, we're gonna be doing videos like this where I'm gonna be bullshitting, and then when it comes down to making content, we'll make content. When something new comes out already, yeah, that's about it. So, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll talk to everybody later.